So then Topical back with another video. I'm Strange Wang, and you'll see Nate later on in the video. This is the Cinnamon Topical YouTube channel. We're talking about movies, all kinds of stuff. But we got a new podcast, Not Topical, which this clip is from. So be sure to check out that. Eyes in the corner, but we got something in the description box now for social media. Follow us on social media. We're also poor and passionate. So there's a coffee account and a Patreon down there as well. There's a thanks button on the channel. If you'd like to donate any money to Cinnamon Topical, it's greatly appreciated. But let's get into the video. And you guys, go ahead and subscribe. Stay strange.
Top 5, no debating. Top 5, top 5, top 5.
Ticket to Paradise coming out. It's got Julia Roberts in it. It's got George Clooney. Top 5 Julia Roberts movies. Tell them how we do our top 5s.
So he's going to start with his 5 and 4. I'll give my 5 and 4, 3, 2, 3, 2. Then we trade off number ones. We also have something called the Zemeckis rule, which just means if we both have the same movie on our list, but one person has it 2 spots or higher, we just talk about it once.
Number 5 for me. I felt like it was only fair to put them all together. Oceans.
Well, I put Ocean's 12 as my number 5. So
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
She's not even in 13. So
or 8.
Or 8.
The movie she's in. She plays really well off George Clooney.
Mm-hmm.
And if a link in that chain is weak, it's going to show.
Yeah.
And every relationship in that movie, every link in the chain just works so well. Even though, like, you got all these different leaks from different chains. Like a Bernie Mac and a Matt Damon chain. I wouldn't think that would go together, but that motherfucker's tight, dog. That's strong.
Right.
So, everything in this movie works. A good... You can see them dating in the Oceans 11 and 12, and it's like, that makes sense as a couple.
Yeah. Oh, wait, you're talking about Clooney and Julia Roberts?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Because they get married and the guy comes back and he has the flowers and runs out the... Yeah.
Well, I mean, they were
nine.
married and she divorced him.
Well, they got married again.
And then they ended up getting back together again. Yeah. Yeah. She's really good in that. I specifically picked Ocean's 12 just because, like...
You get more.
You get more of her. I mean, she's really kind of the point of Ocean's 11 because, yeah, like, Clooney's a heist man. He has to do it. They talk about it in 12 before they have to get back into it about how he can't go somewhere without, like, casing it and looking at the cameras. Like, it's who he is. But he does what he does in Ocean's 11 to get Julia, like, not even necessarily to get her back, but at least to get her away from this guy that doesn't really give a shit about
attention,
her. But in Ocean's 12, she's actually kind of a part of it. They have the whole, like, oh, we're gonna have you pretend to be Julia Roberts bit, and like all that, and that's really funny because, like, they sell her as an unbelievable Julia Roberts, and she is Julia Roberts, and yeah, blah blah blah. You get it. It's funny. Also, when we were making this list, just to go ahead and throw this preface out there, I've only seen 5 Julia Roberts movies. So, those are the 5 that are on my list.
That's America's Sweetheart. You got to bump your...
No, I really do. Oh, when I told...
Your wife?
Man, when I told... What movie was it she said was her favorite? It's probably on your list. Oh, if I hear it, then I'll get to it.
Okay.
But she was very upset when she heard that I had not seen a specific Julia Roberts movie.
There's a little spoiler. There's a classic Roberts movie that's not on my list.
Huh.
Mystic Pizza.
Yeah, well,
That's not it?
I haven't seen it. It's not on my... No,
Okay.
that's not it. Yeah.
Okay.
What's your number 4?
My number 4 is My Best Friend's Wedding.
That's it. That's the one that she was upset that I haven't seen.
Which, I was a part of my best friend's wedding.
You were, yeah.
So, I like this movie a lot because it's kind of like... She's kind of like a shyster. She's doing some dog shit. She's trying to break up her best friend from getting married to the love of his life so she could be with him.
City boy! City boy!
And the more she does it, the more... Oh my god, like, we would be so good together. I really do love them. The feelings get deeper. You understand it. You see it. Julia Roberts, America's Sweetheart, got a nickname for a fucking reason. Like, holy same haircut. I don't even like white girls. But, fucking talented, beautiful, That smile.
Yeah, she's just a sweet
It's
person.
just a big smile, and it's so oompa.
Very endearing. Yeah.
So you have Cameron Diaz and Julia Roberts competing for this man's love, basically, without Cameron Diaz really knowing she's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But because women are insecure, well, people are insecure.
I appreciate that you changed it to people are insecure.
Well, in this movie, Cameron Diaz is the insecure one. So that's why I said women. Anyways, I knew you was going to say something. So, there we go. People are insecure. So Cameron Diaz is like, oh my goodness, you guys' chemistry is so good together that I'm nervous, like, that I can't add up to you. And as much as he told me about you, I could never fill your shoes. And, like, the ending doesn't go the way, like, it's a realistic movie with, like, a lot of unrealistic hijinks in it, which makes it fun because it's a 90s rom-com.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there's a gay best friend, and he's very flamboyant. But the reason why it's my number 4, and sorry, Anna, is because the lead and Julia Roberts, I don't feel their chemistry.
Who's the lead in it?
Don't know.
Oh.
He was in a few things. Handsome white guy, number 12.
I've never seen A Few Things. Is that movie good?
Have you seen A Few Little Things? He's not in that movie.
It's The Little Things.
Well, that's the sequel, A Few Little Things. Ray Mount's like, what in these ashes? I don't know what's in them ashes. I should not do impressions.
No, you shouldn't.
What's your number 4?
So my number 4, the best, in my opinion, the best adaptation of a classic children's literature ever. It's Hook. This movie, for some reason, consistently gets put on like the back half of list when people start ranking Spielberg's films. I don't get that. I think Hook is incredible. I love it a lot. You get peak Robin Williams, but he is supported by Tinkerbell Julia Roberts, which she nails it. Like, this is such a, I don't want to say once in a lifetime role because that makes it sound like this is like an Oscar worthy performance or something like that. But like, it's like a fantasy type role, and she is obviously very well known for like rom-coms and like some dramas and things. Like, that's her bread and butter. That's her sweet spot, right? So seeing her in something like this, who knows if it's going to work? It did work. She really pulls off the whole like Tinkerbell is in love with Peter, so she's jealous of Wendy, and that causes problems shtick. And I really love that movie, and I'm glad she's a part of it.
I really want my number 3 to be on your list because it's my favorite Julia Roberts movie.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite rom-coms of all time as well. Notting Hill.
No, never seen it.
It's so good. You got this famous actress falls in love with a bookstore owner, a poor little bookstore owner in England, and like.
So it's You've Got Mail, but in England.
But it's a famous actress. It's not two bookstore owners. But it's way better than You Got Mail. You got chemistry out the fucking wazoo. Like, there's just something about Julia Roberts. This time period, she's in her fucking bag. And she could make anyone fall in love with her. And, like, you obviously got the 90s, like, his friends are a touch eccentric, like, from whatever reason, like, the England, like, area was just pumping out mad good rom-coms. Bridget Jones' Diary, Notting Hill,
Four Weddings and a Funeral.
Yeah, so, like, straight killing the rom-com game. Throwing Julia Roberts in that world adds a different layer to it. And obviously the self-doubt of, she's a famous actress, how could she ever love me? And it just makes you want that relationship to work. Because, like, you see Julia Roberts and, like, shit, I'll fall in love with her too. Like, holy, same haircut. Perfect human being in this movie. Like, can't do nothing wrong. Classy as ever. And it's like, it's one of those rom-coms where you get so motivated to the point it's like you're watching, like, a football game. Like, I was watching this movie for the first time, like a Tennessee fan was watching the Alabama game Saturday. where they were like, we ain't beat him in 15 years. It's gotta happen. I'm like, I'm sitting on the edge of my seat. It's like, this love has to happen. Fall in love, damn it. Like, I'm on the edge of my seat. I love it so much. But a part of that is the chemistry. So I can't give it all to Julia Roberts, which is why it's my number 3. Number 2, Erin Brockovich.
Never seen it.
Really good movie. She plays really well with every lead she's with. You got Aaron Eckhart in this movie, plays very well with him. Albert Finney, they have this fun, quirky little relationship because he's a lawyer and he's old, and she's a trashy, confident woman. Like, she dresses like a stripper, and she curses a lot. And if I didn't watch Mystic Pizza, I would be like, holy shit, how could Julia... I didn't think Julia Roberts could do this. But similar characters. But Erin Brockovich, she gets a job, got 3 kids, trying to put food on the table, ends up finding some bullshit that a big company's doing. She works for a law firm, and she's like, yo, Albert Finney, this shit is not right. We need to do something. We need to stand for the people. We need to, like... And she takes this case on. She doesn't really know what she's doing. So you have that, like, dynamic between her and Albert Finney. And, like, she ain't taking no shit. And Albert Finney, like, if you ever seen Big Fish, this guy's a fucking gem. Like, what a great fucking... Like, he probably didn't make good movies until he was an old person. Because, like, he's just the sweetest old man ever, you know? So, like, they just have such great chemistry with one another. And her drive and passion in this movie, mixed with her confidence and, like, brash sense of personality, where she's fucked this, like, every 3 sentences has fuck in it or something. Like, not what you think of when you think of Julia Roberts. And she just makes it work and makes it believable. And you don't really know these people who got this bad water that caused their cancer or tumors or whatever the fuck, but you're like, bro, fuck the big company. Very easy to invest in. And her charm just fucking takes it to the next level. So Erin Brockovich, my number 2.
Nice. My number 3, again, the 5 movies on my list are the only 5 Julia Roberts movies I've seen. Not that I think these movies are bad. I think they're actually pretty good movies. They're just not, like, probably what you would expect from a Julia Roberts list, which maybe that's a good thing. So my number 3, Mona Lisa Smile. You seen that movie?
It's got Kristen Dunst in it.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, so think Dead Poets Society, except instead of trying to get a bunch of stuffy boarding school kids to like poetry and get in touch with their feelings, it's
a bunch of white women and paintings.
Well, it's more so about, like, a teacher, Julia Roberts, in the 1950s getting young women to, like, think outside the gender norms of the time. Because 1950s, not a great time to be a woman.
Does Red Foreman make Kristen Dunst kill herself?
It's a joke.
Dead Poet Society.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I don't think so. It's a little more... Honestly, I don't like Dead Poet Society. I think the movie's a little overrated. I like Mona Lisa Smile more than I like Dead Poet Society, and I guess they're only really comparable because you just have that, like, here's a wizened teacher who understands how to get in touch with these students who are kind of stuck in their own specific ways.
What word did you use?
What?
Wizened?
Wizened, as in
What's
someone
that?
who is wise.
Never heard of that word.
There's your
before.
SAT word of the day.
Stupid.
My number 2 is going to be Wonder. It's a really sweet movie. To me, it's a little, like, overly saccharine, but it's still really nice. And Julia Roberts does Julia Roberts things where she is like, hey, you're going to love me. I'm probably am I the best mom in the world? Probably, because I'm Julia freaking Roberts. And, you know, it's very sad, but it's also very good. And Julia Roberts is in it. And it's a movie that I have seen with Julia Roberts in it.
I got a huge problem with that movie.
What is it?
Owen
Wilson
would never be able to pull Julia Roberts. That nematode.
Wow.
Oh boy, he probably counts on his fingers still.
Wow.
Owen Wilson's the type of guy that still has the themed birthday parties.
Wow.
Like, that guy's a loser.
Wow.
Fucking Owen Wilson. Anyways, number 1,
Wow.
Pretty Woman.
Yeah, mine too.
That's the movie that, like, I watched it and I understood why everyone loved Julia Roberts so much in the 90s and 2000s. It's like, holy shit. She really is that good. Like, she's, for the females, she's Tom Hanks' equal. Just like, boom. Wholehearted American actor. Always going to have a good performance in everything they're in. They have their style, but their style is so normal, unrecognizable, that it's not like a Owen Wilson where you gotta throw wow in there, or like a De Niro where you gotta do this. It flies under the radar so much that it's like, holy shit, like Shawty can do anything.
Yeah.
Just like Tom Hanks can. But in this movie, you got a prostitute becoming a classy lady to George Costanza's delightment, if you will. But Richard Gere, you know, they play very well off each other. And the transition seems so natural and, like, easy almost from a prostitute to that. My favorite scene in the movie is where, like, she's trying to buy clothes at that one store.
Oh.
And, like, they won't let her. So the next day she comes in with some Gucci bags and whatnot. She's like, you remember I came in yesterday? No. Big mistake. She got all the bags in her hand. Big mistake.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, like, throw it in her face, you know, be confident. Obviously, there's a lot of different things in this movie, self-doubt, a lot of relatability things that she just knocks out the park. And the smile.
Yeah.
That fucking smile.
Perfect.
Greatest smile in the history of mankind, I would say.
Wow. Yeah.
Stop saying wow. God damn it. It's going to haunt me in my nightmares.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. It's just a really endearing movie. And like a premise that is like lots of rom-coms try to have sort of like a off the beaten path premise to them. But I mean, I feel like the further we get along in time, we are at least like moving towards people having a generally better view of like sex workers.
I guess.
I appreciate the fact that there are probably a lot of people who would talk mad shit about prostitutes in general and like devalue them as humans because of, you know, what they do, whether it is like because they chose to or they were in a bad spot or whatever, who watched this movie and loved it. And that's the power that film has, I think. And like I'm sure that you probably have also seen this 1,000 times on either Watch Mojo lists or other things where they talk about improvised scenes. But, like, even just the fact that when he clamps the thing down on her, and her laugh is incredibly genuine, and it is absolutely infectious.
Yeah.
Like, it is just, like, there's something about Julia Roberts laughing that is, like,
America's
it
sweetheart.
just makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So, to go back to the prostitute things, because once you mention sex, you got my, like, curiosity.
Oh, boy.
So,
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
but anyways, Julia Roberts make really good movies, and we know very little about prostitutes, clearly, which is a good thing, I guess, you know?
Yeah.
If you enjoyed that video, go ahead and comment your thoughts. Scroll back up, hit the like button, share the video so all your friends can see how great we are. Well, mainly just me. He's alright. But Strange Wang, that boy good. But share it to your friends so they can see how great I am and can agree. And, most important thing, subscribe if you haven't already. Helps out a lot.